Well, good evening, everyone. This is John Rollins, and we're here for our weekly Strive session. Strive, strategies to remain informed, strategies to remain victorious and empowered. I trust and pray that you had a great week. I hope that you received some good news today about something. And if you don't, or if you haven't already, and hopefully before you still have about 5 hours, maybe somebody will come and share some good news, or maybe you'll be the one who will share good news with another. Okay, but find something to celebrate, find something to be happy about. I hope that will be your lot. So we're here for our Strive session. And again, Strive, strategies to remain informed, victorious, and empowered. Our thought for this evening is flow. Okay, so now when you hear the phrase flow, I'm sure you think of a few things, but how many of you just, maybe you said, look, I'm just going to flow. I'm going to flow with this. I don't have anything prepared. I don't have anything planned. I'm just going to come to this situation, and then whatever it is that I'm going to do, I'm just going to, what's inside of me is going to come out of me. All right. And when I think of flow, that's kind of what I envision. And so now I'm going to share a thought with you that I think will kind of support, reinforce what it is I hope to share on this evening. But I got it one day. I was riding. It may have been Saturday, Friday or Saturday. I was going fishing, and I was looking at the water on 39th Avenue, along 39th Avenue, going out toward Windsor. I was looking at all the water that had gathered from the rains that we've had this past season, rainy season. I know we're into the hurricane season now, but I was looking at the trees. Now you say, well, John, you're looking at the water, you're looking at the trees. Well, I was doing both. I was looking at the water, and I was thinking how the water provided for the trees. And then now my mom has what we would call a green thumb. So she loves to plant. She has gardens, and you may have heard me say this before. She has gardens at her place. She used to have a garden at my brother's place. She used to have a garden at my sister's place, and she even tried to put a garden out at my place. She came out. I have some deer and rabbits and all kind of stuff out here, so whatever we were trying to grow, they would come and eat it. But anyway, I was thinking about the plants and how the plants are planted or placed inside the soil, but they pull from the soil the nutrients that they need to survive. And so I'm driving down the road and I'm listening to something on the radio, and then this thought comes to my mind that inside of that plant are some type of, and I'll use the term veins. I know that's maybe not the technical term, but there are systems that allow that plant to pull stuff from the ground that travels up through the part of the tree, the trunk, out to the branches, out to the leaves, out to the flowers, out to the fruit, if you would. So inside of the tree, there's something that allows life to flow through it. And I was thinking, well, that's amazing. And I know, for those of you who are science people, it looks like I'm having some kind of thing with my internet. Okay, but those of you who are science people, you say, John, obviously that's what happens. I mean, the whole idea of photosynthesis and exchanging the oxygen and the carbon and carbon dioxide and making it oxygen, that's science. It happens. True, that's what happens. But how is it that you can get from the ground the nutrients that are needed to make oranges or grapefruit or grapes or watermelons or apples inside the tree God has ordained a system that allows whatever that tree needs to reproduce. Remember now, when he first created he went and he created the sun, the lights, greater light, less light, and he populated the earth with grass and trees, and he said he put in that tree the ability to reproduce after its kind. And you may have heard me say before, God never came back and recreated trees. If you think about it, even after the flood, it doesn't say anything about God going back and say, okay, well, this grass thing that we did back at creation, well, now that we've had a flood, maybe I need to go back and recreate grass. No, what he put inside of those plants survived even the flood, even when everything on the earth was destroyed, when it was covered by underwater for months. Once that water subsided, that thing that was inside of that plant started reproducing again. It reactivated, and from that time even up to now, it still continues to reproduce after its kind. Every season, trees will reproduce leaves, grass will reproduce grass, flowers, plants, those things. And so it occurred to me, and hopefully it'll resonate with you as well, that if an inanimate object, which the book of Proverbs says is here today and gone tomorrow, the grass withers, the flowers fade. If inside of that inanimate object, now it's a living thing, but inside of that plant that does not speak, does not have emotions, does not communicate, there is something that allows it to continue to reproduce, to continue to provide sustenance for us. The fruit trees and I don't know what's your favorite fruit, okay, but you are enjoying that because of something that's inside of that tree that works without that tree even thinking about it. The tree doesn't have to go and say, okay, now I need to pull, all right, I need to focus, I need to set my mind right so that I can get nutrients from the ground. It doesn't work like that. Instinctive, without thought, without effort, without labor, that tree reproduces. Why? Because that's what God told it to do. He said, you're going to reproduce. And then he went on to say later on, it says in the scriptures, that well, as long as the earth remains, you're going to have these seasons. All right, so now here's where I'm trying to go with this. There are seasons of our lives. There's seasons for the trees. My mom was the one who actually pointed this out to me. And he said, John, you probably should have known that, but she pointed out to me. Again, I told her she has a green thumb. But she says that the sap that's in the tree, that's there for when it's reproducing the green leaves and the fruit, it says during the time of winter, that sap actually drains out of the tree. And so what's the outcome? Well, you'll notice that the leaves, they're not green anymore. They turn brown. Why? Because those leaves that tree is going through a different season. Now I'll say that, then I'll give you another thought if I don't forget it. Okay. But we too will go through seasons. And I'm not necessarily talking about the fall, the winter, the spring, and the summer. I'm not talking about those seasons, but we will go through times in our lives when we reproduce at our greater level. And then there may be times in our lives when the sap has drained out of us, and we need to go through a resting period. We need to go through a recovery period. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, but what I encourage you is to, and I say this often, be intentional about your plan for each season. Okay, and this is the thought that I had that I said I'll remember. Okay, we as human beings, we may be at different stages, but we can have different things functioning at different seasons. Have you ever thought, has it ever occurred to you how there can be broccoli in Walmart, in every Walmart, All the Walmarts throughout the city, throughout this county, throughout the state is broccoli. But it's not the same season. So in the summer you can get broccoli. In the winter you can get broccoli. Because somewhere there is a season for that thing. Okay. How does that relate to us? Because we can have different things going on in our lives that are producing at different seasons. You don't have to be that one-hit wonder. You can learn to have multiple skills, multiple talents, multiple abilities, that you can make yourself available to multiple markets, so that when one season runs out, the next thing, whatever you had planted now starts to come. The harvest starts to come from that thing. Okay, I call them transferable skills. We want to have skills so that will meet different targets, different markets, different users. Okay, we want to be flexible enough so that when one thing is not working the way that we want, we still have other things that we can rely on. So now, is that something that you have to develop? Maybe. Okay, but I believe inside of us already, I believe that it exists. And I think that if we will allow it to flow, if we will remove whatever those hindrances or those blockages are that are preventing it from happening, I think that we can have something productive for every season of the year and every season of our life. I believe that each one of us, if we will be intentional, if we will be in tune with what's going on, if we will be aware of, and the phrase I've heard recently is self-aware, if we will be aware of what our giftings are, what our abilities are, I believe that in every season we can be producing something of value. Okay, there's a scripture that says that it talks about the righteous person, and it says his leaves will not wither. He will bring forth fruit in his season, and whatever he does, and he, she, whatever we do, if we're righteous in how we are, it will produce fruit in the season. It will add value in the season. And I think we can have everything. Leaves don't wither. We're planted by the rivers of living water that produce fruit. And I think those fruit can continue to come. And I think that we'll have things that we can deliver in every season. Now, I said that the tree pulls up nutrients. I think we should be pulling up stuff that allow us to continue to produce life. Okay, so what are some of those things that will help us? Our mindset, our outlook on life. Okay, the heart of service, the heart of compassion, a heart to be sensitive to the needs of others. We call it concern. Someone who is able to have a vision. Someone who is able to write out goals and set goals. Someone who is sympathetic or empathetic to the needs of others. Someone who is loving. Someone who is forgiving. Someone who is merciful. Someone who speaks words that build up and not tear down. And that's just a few of them. Okay, but allow those things to flow through us. And by doing so, the stuff that comes out of us adds value to society. It adds value to humanity. We can be people who others look to be around. Because why? We're bringing something of worth to that setting, to that environment. That's my belief. Now, you don't have to believe what I believe, and you don't have to do what I do. Okay. But if I can use this statement, and I pray that you follow my heart with this. Okay. Most of my life, I've added value based on the statements that others tell me. Okay. From elementary school up to this present moment, okay, I've been able to contribute something to the setting. Now, I'm a flawed individual. My name is John, and I'm a flawed individual. Everything that I do doesn't always work. Okay, but I have some stuff that's operating in me because I've chosen to yield my life to the leading of the Spirit of God. And as a result, I bring value to the setting. And I'm not saying that in a boastful way. Again, I know that it is a result of me being submissive to the will, the plan, the word of God. Okay, but I know that by having that mindset, I bring value. And I'm telling you that you can be a person of value. You can be a person of worth. Okay, and you can make the settings that you're in, you can make them productive, beneficial, advantageous. So I encourage you to let the goodness that's inside of you, okay, don't block it, don't hinder it, let it flow. Let that goodness come from your toes and flow up through all of your being. And then you will be a person who's blessing others. All right. Hey, this is John with the Strive Session. I'm trying to give you some strategies that will allow you to remain informed, that will allow you to win more than you lose, and that will allow you to be empowered, power poured into you, so that you can live victorious in this time while you're here on earth. All right? And if you not have someone to come into you and to remind you of your worth, to remind you of value, to let you know just how great you are, okay, I welcome the opportunity to let you know that today, tomorrow, and forever, you are important. Thank you for those who are joining. I hope I gave you something that you can use, and you all be blessed. All right, bye.